this home, it was pretty much in its original state. That means nothing had been done since 1968. Well, actually the building was kept really well, but what I mean are the interiors. These are some of the pics we took when we bought the home. So first of all, the layout of the living room is going to be a little bit challenging. There's a huge row of windows on one side, pretty much from floor to ceiling, and then there's a fireplace on the other side. And the space itself is pretty long and narrow. So what I started with is where I want the TV to be. We don't have another place for the TV. We don't have a TV room, so we need to have the TV here in the living room. Something that also makes the space even more narrow is that there are these windowsills that are quite wide in front of the windows. So where to put the TV? I don't think you can put it in front of the windows because we don't want to block the windows. One place would be the back wall, but then where do you put the sofa? I don't want you to see the sofa back first thing when you walk in. And also, once again, it's a narrow space, so it's hard to put a good sized sofa in that direction. So in my opinion, there's only one spot where the TV can go, and it's the wall next to the fireplace. Second thing I knew is I want a large rug. I want a rug to frame the area. I got a 3 meters by 4 meters rug, and it's just like a perfect size for this room. I bought this rug new. There just aren't used ones in this size in my market. Then we bought a sofa for 300 euros. And it's a Finnish quality design sofa, and it's like over 4,000 euros when it's new, but we got it for 300 euros delivered. Originally it had like this beige creamy cover, but we already knew it wasn't going to be in a super good condition because of the price, and that was fine with us. So we lived with that beige sofa for around a year, maybe a little over a year, and then I took the covers because they're all velcroed in, like all of the covers are washable and you can take them off. So I took them off and I used them as patterns and made new covers with this lovely dark blue velvet. We've used it a lot. It still looks really fresh and really good. And our sofa is a bit deeper than your average sofa. So I'm placing the sofa in front of the TV. And second thing I thought was very important is I don't want the sofa to feel like it's just floating on its own in a big space or relatively big space. So I wanted to ground it down somehow and make it more like cozy. And I looked for quite a while like these 2 big units to go on both sides of the sofa. I wanted these side tables to be like substantial in size and anchor everything down and kind of make you feel nestled in and cozy. I found these, but they were in a really poor condition, so I painted the drawer fronts and put legs on them. Then I saw this very old buffet, and it was one of those pieces where you just know, I don't think, I might not even had a place for it back then, but I knew I wanted it. So I immediately messaged the seller and said we're picking it up. And it's a really old buffet, this fun minty green tone, and it came off of a really old house, and when we first got it, it had a really musty smell, but I cleaned it really well. I think I used bleach, and after a while it didn't smell at all anymore. So once again, to fill the space width-wise, I put it against the back wall. So then I have these armchairs that used to be my grandparents' chairs, and they really are sentimental to me. They had them for as long as I've been alive, and they're from the 1970s, so they're very much that MCM style, which I think is great because the apartment is from that era, from 1968. These chairs are probably something we'll always have because they have so much sentimental value to me. So I placed them next to the sofa. The coffee table is something I like to play around with because there are so many used coffee tables for sale, and that means there's so many different styles and they're usually really affordable, and it's something small that is easy to change around, and it actually makes quite a big of a difference in your space. It's usually right in the middle of everything. And at the moment we have this huge round ottoman. I actually bought one from a thrift store for under 30 euros and I reupholstered it, but then I saw one similar one for free, so I sold the first one with a really nice profit and I got the free one and I reupholstered it too. And it's just something nice for the space because it's round. So far everything's been boxy and angled, and the ottoman brings softness into the space. So now with the deep sofa and everything, we've used quite a lot of the narrow space. So I was really struggling with what to get for underneath the TV. I needed a media unit to hide all the cords and everything, and I just could not find anything until I came up with this idea to take two old DVD/CD stands or towers, and I put two of them together and made them into a media unit, and that's one of my absolute favorite flips I did on the channel, and it was perfect for this narrow space. And it has those rounded corners, so it too brings that softness in. Then I just have some small tables for the armchairs, so if you have a coffee or something, you can put it there. The fireplace and the space around it is really cold and uninviting, so I decided to make a reading nook to get something soft in there, and it really softened this corner. If you've seen some of my other videos, you might have seen me share portraits before. Here's one of my oldest son. Lighting wise, I don't think you could ever have like too much lighting. So I have a table lamp on both sides of the sofa. I have two table lamps on the buffet. This pair was 10 euros and I just got new shades for them. Then we have a ceiling lamp right above the ottoman. I made this lamp years ago, but I did add the stamens this year. We also have a light strip behind the TV, and I even have a light in the fireplace, and I'll tell you later how that works and why it is there. How we control all of these lights, whether they're on or off, how bright they are, and the tone of the light depending on the time of the day, is with this Philips Hue system. We do also have IKEA similar lights in other rooms because they are way more affordable, though not as versatile. So that's pretty much the layout. Actually, come to think of it, even our plants are thrifted. I have this huge hibiscus in the living room, and I've said this before, but I think plants just bring like something irreplaceable to a space. We've had this hibiscus for 10 years. Here it is on the day we got it. I need to prune it often, but don't worry, it really likes that. I'm not going to prune it a lot though, because it's not growing season at the moment. There's also an old thrifted mirror here in the corner, and it's because of the plants, because the light comes from the window and bounces back to the plants. This is everything I ended up cutting off, and some of the stems I do keep. I put them in water and make new plants. So you ask, where did the cuttings go? Well, these aren't the same cuttings, but these are some of the cuttings, and they went into the fireplace. And the reason is the fireplace doesn't look very nice when it's not in use and there's nothing in it. A glass door like this would be nice, but it would have to be custom made. The light is here. I just taped some magnets on it, and this is metal, so it clings on to it. This is a portrait of my great-grandmother. When I was young, I was afraid of this painting, but now I think it's pretty fabulous. This poster is from a painting by Helene Scherfbeck, a Finnish artist. Have you heard of her? And this Edgar Degas poster was a disappointment. I bought it online and it looked totally different in the picture. What I got was a murky version of it. Some things I have been thinking about changing around. I'm not sure, but what I might want to do, even though we really love the deep sofa, if we had a sofa that was more like a regular depth, we could have like even more space around. And even though I really love the buffet and I think it's unique and it's fun, the color really dictated most of the colors in the whole living room. And we've had these colors for years and I do like them, but I would like a little change, and I don't think I can change all the colors around like I would want to, as long as the buffet is that color. And I'm really apprehensive about changing the color because I don't want to ruin it. This is an old mood board, but it's impossible not to play around with colors when you love all of them. So something I have been thinking about is, if I were to replace it, I would probably get like those IKEA ivory units, and I'd get 4 of them to run all the way from one side to another. Well, not quite all the way, but almost all the way. And that would bring even more space around the sofa and everything. That's it. What do you think? I would love to know down in the comments. I'm already working on the next project, so if you like this one, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you in the next one.